What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I had something plugged into the audio jack. My bad.
Oh, you're just staring at me. I was like, what's up?
Uh,
Well, let me turn this.
yeah, I'm still
shit
trying
up.
to figure out how to use my wife's Mac. I'm not a Mac person.
That's all right, dude. I'm an idiot, so in general, so I don't really. I have a Mac because it's the only thing I know how to use. So shit, man. Let's just jump into it. You 3D printed an Iron Man helmet.
And a lot more than that.
A lot more than that. I mean, you are Tony Stark. You are the new Tony Stark.
Yeah. We
Correct.
can go with that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I had another guy on that said he was Tony Stark. Oh, yo, do you have headphones or something? 'Cause I can hear my voice coming. Actually, no, it's good now. It's good now.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll let you know if I can hear my voice come. It's not doing feedback right now. Like I said, I don't know how to figure it out. Some people I get feedback from, others I don't. But I think we're good.
Turn down your phone just a little, so that should work.
Yeah.
Cool.
Introduce yourself, man.
Hi, I'm Frank. I build stuff like this. Here's one.
3D printed an Iron Man helmet.
Yeah, man. Still working on a lot.
On
But
on
the
the what?
hobbies, dude, the hobbies. This is like the best thing I've ever gotten into. Like,
3D printing.
yeah, it's great.
Let's go, dude.
Because I've always liked building stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like I got
I can
models and all that
see it all.
junk.
Yeah.
But I don't know what started it, but I don't know. Yeah, working with my hand, I'm a mechanic by trade, so like doing things with my hands was always just like, yeah, let's figure it out, why not? And who doesn't want, Marvel stuff, since you're a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think back in June, I've always wanted one since I was a kid, a suit, just to be able to do stuff like that. Again, who wouldn't want just a suit on display right there? I got, mannequin man standing there with a suit on.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see Iron Man in the above it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always wanted one, and I always had like the skills to do it. I thought like I could paint, I could do wiring, electronics and stuff, but I didn't have like the base. I didn't have anything to like build on. And I don't know if you know what like EVA foam is, like the cosplay foam. You ever see that stuff?
No.
It's what people will like. It's just that it's very workable foam that they'll make costumes and cosplay out of, which works. I just didn't like how it looked.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I started doing some research on like how to make like a suit, and I stumbled upon like 3D printing, which was cool. And I didn't realize how cheap it was. I didn't realize how like much the technology had come down.
Yeah.
I thought like 1,000. That's what everybody asked me. They're like, "Wow, you have your own printer?" Like,
Yeah.
I have two.
Yeah.
They're not expensive anymore.
Yeah.
So I did some research and I talked to my wife about it. I'm like, "Hey, how would you feel about me getting a printer?" And she's like, "I was actually going to get you one for your birthday." And I'm like,
Badass.
"Oh."
Yeah.
But she said she was just overwhelmed with how many there were. So like her dad's a real big techie.
Mm-hmm.
So he was helping her like shop and stuff, and they both like just couldn't really figure it out. There was just too many, which I get. It's still an emerging technology, so everybody's trying to get their hands in the pot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every company wants to like, oh, we make one. No,
Yeah.
we make one.
Yeah.
We make better. This one speaks in German. There's so many different.
Yeah.
So I did the research, and I found these two bigger printers that were like the highest recommended ones for cosplay, because I can do like a full helmet in one shot, where there are some people who have to. I actually have over here my first helmet, the first one I printed, and it is ugly.
I think it's cool, man. It looks like it's got like it looks like it's it almost looks like that like winter camo you see in like like Spetsnaz, the kind of like gray and white. That's what the side of it looks like. I don't know if that was the intended purpose, but that's what it kind of looks like.
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I think it does kind of look cool. It looks like a little, in-work project.
Yeah, it looks badass,
but I gave
dude.
on it. I quit. I was just like, I can't finish this. I tried printing it in a bunch of tiny pieces. I didn't know what I was doing. I tried gluing it, bondoing it, sanding it, and just
Frankenstein.
It didn't work, man.
Frankensteined it. Yeah. So
it's just a reminder on the display case now. Like,
yeah.
Remember where you came from.
Yeah. Remember where you came from. Yeah. Is it? So what's? So what? So the first time you took a shot at it, it was just literally like let's try to manufacture a bunch of the little pieces and then like clip them together.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. So people will have the files online. They'll sell. They'll host solid pieces, solid helmets, or they'll host for smaller printers. You cut it up and you can print like little, tiny things, glue them together, and you get a big item.
Yeah.
So I did that, not taking advantage of the size of my printer. I was still doing projects that you might do on a small printer. I should have one-shotted it, and it would have come out a lot better. But I was woefully unprepared for how hard the hobby was. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
It looks really cool on the surface. Like that's what everybody sees. They see this. They see like, wow, like drag and drop, and you hit print.
Yeah, press a button. Printer. Wow, I get it now. It's my thing. Yeah, but it's not like that.
Man.
But so.
If I knew.
Yeah. So why was it easier to? I mean, aside from again, someone like me who doesn't know anything about it, how it was easier to print it all in one shot, and how come it wasn't easier beforehand? Or is it easier once you know what you're doing? But if you don't know what you're doing, it's all a clusterfuck.
Massive clusterfuck.
Yeah.
All right. So I might, depending on whose feed this crosses, I might piss a couple people off by saying this.
I don't care.
But
it's my podcast. Fuck everybody.
Oh, me either. Yeah, right. There are a lot of people out there who really suck at 3D printing.
Yeah.
They don't know why, and they're just bad at it.
They don't know why.
The groups, and I know that a lot of people are going to agree with me too. A lot of the groups and forums I'm on Facebook, there's like a lot of common questions. Hell, they'll post a picture of like a little thing that looks really messed up, and they'll be like, help, why did this happen? It's like, I don't know. Did your power go out? Did you sneeze? Was there a tornado? Like, we need some more details.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to just ask the question. It's the same way in the car community. I'm very in cars and stuff. It's the same way. Cars making weird clicking noise help. It's like, what?
Yeah. It's like all the
you're asking about a BMW, but you're on a Toyota forum. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who I've noticed it's a lot of, for lack of a better term, geeks and nerds, which I am too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people who aren't good with working with their hands. They're good with software. They're good with, programming, and they, I can figure the program out, but they're not good at troubleshooting the hardware. And that's where, like, your program can be fine. The program does the hard part. That makes the tool path. It's the path that the nozzle takes.
Yeah.
All this thing is, it's a hot glue gun on belts.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it does a lift, goes up, does a layer, goes up. It's a hot glue gun, just really accurate. If that's not tuned in right, it doesn't matter how good your program is. Your print's going to come out like garbage. Like, there's no way around it.
So that's not just like automatically tuned in. That's not like, sorry for interrupting. Like printer for me. I just go hit.
Exactly. A lot of people want it out of the box. They're like, oh, I just spent $500 on a printer. It should work perfectly.
Yeah.
No, $500 one is still the entry level one ish. That's the one you have to calibrate and build.
What are some of the nicer ones?
If you want the one that's out of the box, that's like $5,000. That's like press play and go.
Jesus,
it's still coming down though.
Some DARPA shit.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I think about like solid state technology and Bluetooth technology. How much is it's come down a lot. It gets cheaper as it goes. And right now, it's hitting that stride of just getting cheaper.
Yeah.
And
10 terabyte hard drive, $100.
That if you said that to somebody 10 years ago,
2005, 10 terabytes. What the like? Yeah,
like, what, do you have a room dedicated?
$100. And I did that just because I had two other ones to put my stuff on. 2 terabytes, but this is like from 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, how much? Yeah, 100. Yeah, I got a micro. Yeah, I got a 128 micro SD too.
This is ridiculous.
You could eat
I used to work at Best Buy.
You could literally eat
in
it.
2000.
Yeah, 5 terabytes, waterproof, fireproof, shockproof. This was $100. Like, yeah, it's
once up and they have a need, it just drops. It's incredible. It is. It used to be the common.
I was gonna say, sorry, 1 terabyte, but this is from 2012. This was like $300. 5 terabytes, $100. It's, you know, but it's the same thing with printing, right? It's
coming down. People are working out the bugs, what works, what doesn't, what you need. You could, when you, hold on one second.
No, go for it. So what's like Jesus. All right, so explain it to me.
This is a 3D printer.
Okay.
This is a $100 or $200 3D printer.
Okay.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
It is. It's a new, brand new out of box Ender 3 Pro from Creality. This is basically a smaller version of the 2 I have. So I can swap parts, same hardware, same everything. And
how
this
big?
People make suits with this.
How big is the one back there? Because I can't the. Can you go walk next to it? Yeah, show me.
All right. I can do this and show you the size difference.
Yeah. Okay, so you got that big motherfucker back there. Okay, so that's like the all right. Okay, so for everyone listening, that's basically what is that the maximum size that your product has to fit within.
Yes, exactly. So this is a pretty good entry level size, and then the height's pretty equivocal to what, it'll make a box. So however length with height, that's usually what you work with.
Yeah.
You can get into some weird ones like mine where the height, it's almost taller than the width and the length. So I can print pretty tall stuff on mine.
Okay.
Like entire forearms, just
Jesus.
standing straight up.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, this is one whole piece.
You're making Iron Man, dude. You're making Iron Man. Have you been contacted by DARPA? If so, why?
No,
and if not, why not?
I'm on a list.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, that we try to get on lists here. That's what we do in this podcast. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, we talked about the last 2 days actually. 2 different guests. We talked about attacking the presidential motorcade, and so welcome to the list. And it wasn't like politically driven. We were just talking about like wingsuits and limos, and somehow we got onto attacking the motorcade. And I realized, I was like, wave to the camera, boys. Like, so
funny story. I'm actually I am military. I'm enlisted, so I'm part of the list, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, next Wednesday I'm having on former Delta Force, so hopefully I should really get on some lists. Yeah, I've already had on. Oh, Jesus. So that thing. So this is one thing I've thought about. Is, do you think, maybe I'd have to ask the Delta Force. He retired in 2001. Do you think for some like tip of the spear type shit, Delta Force, DevGru, at SEAL Team 6? Where do you think 3D printers are used in the field for that? Because one thing I've thought of in my completely uneducated mind with this is like, so like, you can't bring all of the potential shit you may need. Maybe we need a Javelin missile. Maybe we need a certain thing. But what if we could fit in this like like Operation Neptune Spear when they took down Bin Laden? One of the things they had was like the crowbar to wrench open the door, but it was compactable into like a little square, so they could literally like and then like crack it open. So what if you had like a 3D printer that you could almost like an accordion open up, and it's like, we need fucking, it'd have to be basic. You couldn't like print night vision, but do you think there's anything like that, or do you think that that's fantasy?
Right now,
I mean, I'm talking only for only like only the very best. Like I'm, Black Ops shit.
I don't think not yet. But I think with how everything's going with this whole technology, aside from the plastic waste it makes, which is something they're trying to be cognizant of. Apparently this stuff is biodegradable, PLA plastic, but like really, really, really long-term biodegradable. But I guess when you're looking in, years of Earth, it's still better than nothing. I think about that a lot, what it's going to do for the world. Like, 5 years ago, if I wanted to have my own little prop helmet for display, I'm at the mercy of the internet.
That would have been some
$3, $4, $5.
That would have been some like Hammaker Schlemmer stuff, like those. So I'm terrible at interrupting. I'm trying to get better. I apologize.
No, it's cool.
It's like it would be what are those really expensive stores? Hammaker Schlemmer or you know what I'm talking about? Like the airline magazines where you see it, and it's always just like ridiculous shit. Yeah, something like that's what it would be. It'd be like you have a real life working Iron Man helmet, $800. Like
that's exactly what it used to be. A full suit would run you like $10,000, and it still would be like, eh.
Yeah.
But now, if I want, I want Thor's hammer for display. That's it. I print it. If I want a helmet, display, done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never been in a hobby or seen a hobby. It's weird. If you're into cars, you're into cars, right? You like modifying cars. You work on them. You fix them. If you like collecting Pokemon cards, that's everybody you're with likes Pokemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Printing is so not that.
Really?
In the groups, there are so many different people. There are people making parts for cars. There are people making props and toys and stuff. There are people making artificial limbs and prosthetics. There's people making parts for their hydroponic gardens and pot farms.
Yeah.
Like there's just such a broad. Everybody uses for something different. It's ridiculous. Like I have nothing in common with most of these people.
It's manufacturing. It's manufacturing, not. Yeah.
Exactly. It's weird. It's not, you can make anything, and it's you can have it in your house now. This, this bracket on your nightstand broke, or this, I want something to hold my soda better. You can make it, and chances are, a lot of people ask me. That's probably one of the biggest questions I get. How did you design that? What software did you use to design that? How did you scale it and make it? I didn't design it. I paid for the file. I bought it.
Yeah.
Like somebody already 3D modeled it. I just printed it.
Yeah.
But it sounds a lot better on the surface. It's like, drag, drop, print, but you have to scale it to your body. Can you make it, it won't come off. Give it a couple of years. I think things will come off looking like this, but there's still post work. There's a lot more work to go into it. Getting your printer calibrated. And there's a lot of moving parts. So, it's calibrated one day. A week later, it's not going to be anymore. Things wear, things break. It gets up to 200 degrees Celsius. It gets hot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that can go wrong, and it's a lot of upkeep.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that are afraid to take the printer apart. Like, that is the scariest thing to them. Like, my printer broke. What am I going to do? Get the wrenches out, take it apart, fix it.
Yeah. It's
fix it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been getting for podcasts. I've been getting a notepad. So when I get, because as you can tell, I interrupt. So I write down my thoughts. And I'm like, make a note when. Yeah, but I was gonna say what you were saying. Like
that's smart.
Yeah, like printing, but even like drag and drop. Like, well, I think this podcast is a perfect example. This is episode 48. My first episode was December 12th. It's barely been 3 months, but it's already come so far. And it's not just as simple as, well, I have a webcam and I have a MacBook and internet connection, drag and drop podcast. And it's like, yes, but what I'm learning is like also no, like I got to figure out how to fuck to use this microphone. I got to I'm like figuring out uploading. I'm figuring out like equalizing the audio. Like it's like, oh, just because, yes, it's very simple. It's in our hands. More people can do it than ever before, but that doesn't automatically make this some like super high quality Joe Rogan shit. Like, no, okay, there's still a lot of learning to do. And it's even, well, you're just a simple thing in common. You were saying heat. Everyone asks, well, how come I wear this orange jacket? This isn't some like trademark bullshit. This is just a cozy jacket. This room is above the garage, and I have the option of turning off the heat. It's like 40 degrees here. So this room gets cold, and I do that because this MacBook it's brand new, but it gets so hot screen recording a 2, 3, 4 hour podcast. So yeah, I keep this room cold so this thing stays cold. I have it on top of a laptop cooler, and I've got a fan next to it. As soon as the podcast is over, literally blast all the air, and it's just like try to dissipate the heat. But it's there's a huge learning curve, and it's out of the box in the sense that more people can now do this than ever before. You don't have to have a TV show. You can just, I have a podcast, Tommy's podcast from my room. Like, bam.
That's it.
But like you said, it's also not. It's not out of the box like, oh, now it's perfect 4K, perfect audio, crisp, clean, edited. Like, no, they're still like, yeah.
Oh my God, man. You should go back to my YouTube channel. And my first couple of videos when I started doing tutorials on cars, I was using this. It was an old GoPro Hero 3, and it worked, but...
Yeah.
It worked, but now then I, since the suit started taking off a little bit more, my wife was like, "Oh, hey, you should probably get a better camera." So I have a Hero 8 Black now, Jesus. And wow.
yeah. Well, even this, man, I just screen record Skype. Like I've had people say like I need to get better audio, and I do, but the thing is like I also try to keep this like I want it to be accessible to guests, like. Obviously Skype is like, you can do it in your room. So there instantly I have a million more guests than I would have if it was like, we got to meet up. Like, the Delta Force guy, he lives in Indonesia. Like I'm having him on next week. We're 13 hours apart. I'm doing it at 8 PM. So it's 9 AM his time. But that opens the door to guests that I could never have before. And I also, Skype is simple enough that I can have, I've had multiple people on that are in their 50s and 60s that otherwise aren't necessarily technologically savvy, but they can download Skype and we can talk. The audio suffers because my laptop is recording the sound coming out of the speakers and going back into it. So I've had people say like, you need to use Discord so you can like rip the audio directly. And I'm like, that's true. But how many potential guests am I going to lose if I'm like, all right, you got to download this, you got to download this, you got to download this. And then you send me the file. Like it's a lot more accessible when I say, hey man, just download Skype. Here's my name. So it's, dude, it's, but yeah, we're going off into the weeds, dude. Well, 3D printing.
I thought some screen recording, because I have a screen recorder on my PC too, and it grabs the digital audio going to my speakers. It grabs it before it makes it to the output. Is that what yours does?
No, and you and I are definitely going to talk about that after the podcast, or we can talk about it now. I don't give a shit. But I need to get that because I'm just screen recording through QuickTime Player. This is a MacBook Pro from August 2019. So this is pretty fucking new. I'm very technologically
Write this down.
Yeah. Ready.
OBS. Oscar Bravo Sierra.
Okay.
Studio.
Perfect.
Try that. That's what I use when I do my like on-screen tutorials.
Yeah.
It grabs the raw feed coming from the computer.
Because I got this dope microphone, Shure microphone, but the problem is when I use it through this, it automatically cuts out incoming audio. So I've had podcasts before where I'm like, "What's up?" and they're just talking. I'm like, "Motherfucker."
That's what's just happening right now because I have a little boom mic right here that I was trying to use, and I had to plug it to the side. I think you could hear me, but there was no audio coming out.
Yeah, no, that happened with the guy the telepathic robot guy. I was gonna say it's funny. You said hydroponic 3D printing. One of my best friends, literally known him since 2001. He came on and he does 3D printing, and he was episode like 16 or 17. 3D print shit for hydroponics. Yeah, but
there you go.
But
it worked.
Yeah, it's yeah, dude, I wonder what would happen if I linked you up with the guy that I had on, Aaron Shepard. Did internships for NASA, but now he's working on literally like neural controlled robots. You put on a headband and it detects the different wave. Fuck, if you can't tell, I get excited and I go off into the weeds.
No, I love that. That's there's this toy I remember seeing somebody play with on I don't know if you watch Michael Reeves. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious YouTuber. There's an old toy. It was this Jedi mind control headset thing, and it would make an orb float. I think I forget what it.
Yeah, it's on a fan. It's on a fan. But that's what he's using. He's something from that. Yeah. Yeah,
it actually this cheap ass piece of this cheap chip that was in it actually detects your alpha wave.
Yeah, alpha, theta,
And it's just this little toy that you can pick a signal up with an Arduino from your brain and then use it. And it's like, what?
Yeah, I know. He and I were talking about making something for meditation, because I've been meditating for like 12 years. Helps me with just crippling anxiety. But one thing is That.
That'd be cool to be able to open and close the mask with just thinking about it.
Yeah, well, that's what it all is just detecting different waves, man. It's, yeah, dude, it's, that's what you guys need to link up. You need 3D printing and designing and his thinking. You guys could literally have fucking telepathic robots. Hey, DARPA, fund us. But yeah, man, it's insane. Like, so talking about this stuff getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So like, you can't see, but like on that bed over there's like a couple old laptops. So I'm just thinking I'm using this laptop, which is just brand new. Do you own like multiple 3D printers? Have you seen the direct evolution of it, or are you fairly new into having your own?
I started in July 2019. That's when I got my first print.
Okay.
So I've been at this for less than a year.
Okay.
But already in that, I've already seen the evolution of printers even more. Like they've revised, my printers come out with a new updated V2 version. They've made alterations to it. They've made pro versions of it. So they've kept advancing it, and it's still getting cheaper. I have two. So the first one I got was about 500 new, and it was pretty good entry price at the time. It was a much bigger one. And then about, I want to say in November, I was like, I want to try to find another one used, because I knew enough about the hobby now. I'm like, I can, let me find a used one. I could probably troubleshoot it. I was able to find someone selling one for $200, and same one. They're literally clones of each other.
Yeah.
The same printer, and I just it was giving him problems. He couldn't get it to work right, and there was another example of people biting off more than they can chew.
Yes.
He just wasn't ready for all the tinkering that went with it. Some people aren't good with mechanics. That's fine. Some people are mechanically inclined. That's totally fine. We need programmers,
Yeah.
So I got it from him, and when you buy that printer, like in box, it kind of comes in two pieces laying down. You take them out, stand it up, and bolt it to itself.
Sure.
Plug in a bunch of wires. It's like a half-assembled one. It's in the terms of the hobby, the CR10, the CR10Ss, they're more pre-assembled than they aren't. Now, if you buy a TiVo Tarantula and a Net 8, there's a lot of other brands where like you get bags of nuts and bolts. Good luck.
Fuck
like,
that noise.
It is very strict. Yeah, but that's cheaper. Getting the fully. So it's a balance. But since I like taking things apart, I completely stripped his down, like more than it came from the factory. Everything apart, and I started to rebuild it.
Okay.
And I started noticing there were things built wrong from the factory.
Oh, shit.
Bearings were in the wrong place. Things were too tight, too loose. So he was doomed right from the get-go.
Yeah.
And he just didn't know how to fix it. So I built it all back up. I think I had to buy $10 worth of new parts, and it printed brand new, fresh out of box, brand new. So now I have two.
Fuck yeah.
And I did that to speed up the project. It helped me print, I could print the left bicep and the right bicep at the same time, and it just sped everything up. And now I can have my projects going on one, but then on the other, I'm printing stuff to sell and make some money on the side. It's started paying for the hobby.
Making cash.
Right?
Yeah.
I've already broke even on everything. I've sold enough helmets. I've sold 4 or 5 helmets.
That's
5.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, and I've paid for the printers, the suit, everything.
That's so awesome. That's what that to me. That's what makes me fucking stoked, dude. Is like, because I want to. I'm still trying to figure out how to make money on this. Like, I love doing this regardless. Like, if you can't tell, I just fucking like talking. That's so cool, man. That's because to me, there's like a certain attraction to that. Like the guy I had on as an aviation photographer, he talked about how when he finally started making money on photography. Another girl is a professional powerlifting coach, and she talked about like going from just doing it to like having clients to where she could quit her job and do that full time. To me, there's like a certain like alchemy. It's a certain like anyone can do what they like, and anyone can do it well and do your hobby. But to me, if you can turn that into real world money that you can pay for a roof over your head and put, get some, frozen dinners that you can use in the microwave and put gas in your car. To me, that is like a form of alchemy to me. That is, you're like bringing, it's literally some like Harry Potter shit. Like you say a couple words and food appears. Like that's what it is to me. So I'm wildly drawn to that. Not because it's like, oh, I want to make money so much as I'm like, if I can make money doing what I like, to me, that is a form of wizardry.
That's the dream.
That is a form of wizardry.
Yeah. That's the dream.
It is.
Like, nobody wants a 9-to-5 desk job. If you can do what you love, then
exactly, dude.
That's not many people get to do that.
No, I got into medical school out of college, dude, and I was set to do that. I was set to go be Dr. Kerrigan, and had it all worked out. But I was like, I don't love it. I like it, but I was like, I don't love it. And I was like, dude, I want to do what I love.
So I didn't do too hot in school, but I liked working on cars, and I was like, I like customizing them and working on them and doing lights and lifts and suspension, and I like doing that. So I went to school, a trade school in Florida, to get a couple certificates in like car audio installation and security systems and fiberglassing, MESA certification. Yeah, MESA. And I got a professional job doing it, and it was fun. But I slowly started to realize after dealing with it was half customer service, half just doing the work, Yeah. So I started to realize more and more I kind of only liked working on my car.
Yeah.
Like it was fun, you get to do a lot of cool jobs. We got to work on some awesome trucks. We got to do a lot of cool custom projects. But then there was just the 90% of it was install this radio, install the security system, install this radio, put on these tires. Yes. So it was like, this is really sucking the fun out of what I like to do. Yes. So I'm going to join the military.
Dude. I taught myself in between getting out of med school and starting this podcast. I taught myself graphic design. I fucking loved it. Absolutely still love it. Literally completely taught myself everything. And I'm having a DJ on tomorrow from LA who I've made him custom shit. I'll post videos of him in his studio wearing it. It's awesome. What I slowly found over the last year was I like making what I want to make. When someone's like, can you make us softball jerseys? Like I can do it, but I'm like, and someone's like, hey, can you make me business cards? And it's like, I want to have naked chicks riding a camel, fighting a vampire with a laser gun. Yeah, I'll make your business card, but like you said, you're like, it kind of starts sucking the fun out. You're like, is this what I really love? And with this, I get to choose my guests.
Oh my God, you have no idea. So my wife's very supportive of my hobbies. So she also got me, I don't know if you've ever seen them, the Silhouette Cameo. They're little vinyl sticker cutters, and you can make. I have tons of stuff on my wall.
Existence is pain. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, so you can cut. That's all it is. It's a little needle on a tray, and you put vinyl through it, and you can make stickers, and you can get creative with it, and you can stack. You can stack colors, and
fuck yeah.
So she was like, I think you can do this for cars, and I can make a lot of stuff with this. It's mostly, I want to say, a single white woman hobby. That's what I used to call it. A married white woman hobby. Because it's like
Karen hobby.
A lot of women making, the live, laugh, love signs that are hanging on walls.
Yeah, dude.
It was that type of stuff. So it was a very at-home. Some of the groups I had joined, it was all women. It was all women doing cutesy stuff, and I'm over here making Rick and Morty and dicks.
Yeah, it's a bunch of, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at girls' evening,
dude. And you're
and you're like Bigfoot.
Get creative with. So I started making kind of funny stickers. I was able to use them to customize parts of my car, like the engine bay, and add logos, and just. And then I started making some money by selling some stickers to friends, and then word started getting out, hey, can you make me this? Can you make me this specific sticker in this specific way? And it's like, I can.
It starts to just. It's like siphoning gas. It just fuck yeah, that's badass.
Covers for laptops and
but it's
my laptop now for some reason.
It's
I made a little dog, you know.
That's badass. But yeah, you're right. When you start getting, and it's like when you start getting like custom commissions, like part of it is like you're so stoked that you're like, oh, cool, I'm making money, and then the other part of you is like, it's like siphoning gas out of a car. It just starts taking the love out of it, and you're like, I fucking hate this. You're like, I hate this. I hate. And you start resenting. So, you're like, God damn it.
I sold enough stickers and stuff to pay for the printer, like pay for the cutter. So I have it in my closet now. I still use it. I still do it for friends, little projects, because I'm also decently good at like designing stickers and logos, and I can do it really quick. I know a lot of shortcuts, and it's gonna sound dumb, but I'm very good with Microsoft Paint. And screenshots and adding, and so like I got very good with it in high school, and the program used to cut the stickers is very receptive to pictures that you can generate in Microsoft Paint. So I'll always tell people like, hey man, can you make, like, I don't buy stickers anymore, like, for anything. I'll take a picture of my phone, drop it in Paint, you do this weird trace thing, drop, and I can cut it out. Like, that's it. It's simple. And it just it's eliminated a cost from my life. You know, if my wife wants a label for something, or I want a label for this or that, it's like, just make it. And a lot of like my close friends know that, so they won't buy stickers either. They'll pay me. They'll be like, hey man, here's $5. Can you make me a hazard sticker for my car? You know? Yes. You know, I'm not going to advertise it. I tried that. I didn't like it. But now I have that.
I found that with graphic design.
Like, I just used it for my suit recently. So one of the forearms, I added a little Mark 85, like the in the wrist for it. So
that's so badass.
I haven't used it in a while.
That's so.
I'm so happy. Smooth.
Dude, that's so sick.
Shiny. So smooth. This took forever.
FBI. Huh? Yeah. So back live.
That's easy. That's easy stuff.
We all
There's
are.
wiretaps all over the place.
We all are. Yeah. Who isn't on a list? Yeah. It's probably sketchier if you're not on a list. So.
No, right? Like, these are boring.
Yeah. Exactly. If you're not on a list, dude. I don't want to hang out with you, man.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Who doesn't have if you don't have a criminal record, then I don't want to drink with you. But like, so. Break that down. I don't mean like physically break it down. I mean, explain it to me. Explain the helmet you just had. So why is it? So for a second I thought you just broke it. I was like, dude. I was like, why would you do that? It breaks apart. Yeah. I was like, dude, why would you do that? That's awesome. So how did you? What? So did you have to pay for the file for that? Did you make that file? Why was that one easier? Or let's go back to the first one. What was step one in making your Mark 1, not Mark 1 Iron Man, but your subjective Mark 1? Why was so? What was? How did you start with that? What the fuck happened? I don't know how to do this. You tell me.
All right. So if you want, I can tell you why I even started.
Fuck yeah, dude! I don't give a shit. Let's roll.
Okay, cool. So you're actually the first one who's going to get this story in any media media format, because the only people who know are like my friends and like my wife. So because I don't like talking about, like, I don't want to post about it. It just seems too, I don't know, lame, or I don't know the word for it.
Yeah. I get you.
Like, so basically, when I was like a kid, like 2008, 2009. My dad had he got me into Marvel and the comics. Like the first Iron Man movie came out. I
2008.
actually was watching it yesterday.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Yeah, the first one.
Fuck yeah.
It came out. My dad was like, "Oh, that's cool." I used to, he liked the comics. He was really about the Marvel comics when he was a kid. So he knew about it. He's like, "You should watch this, bud. You might like it." I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
So I saw it with him, and I kind of got into the movies because of him. And he was like, he knew more about the comics. I started to get more into the movies as, Iron Man 2 came out and the Avengers. So we would watch them together, and we had a little bit to bounce off of each other. So it was fun.
Yeah.
And after seeing the first one, I'm like, that's awesome. I want a suit.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, what?
So time went on, cool. Military overseas, whatever, just, grew apart a little bit because you're away from family so much, and started to kind of reconnect with him of recent, end of 2018, 2019, started to get back in touch with him. He was living down in Florida, and just it was, I had grown up, things had changed, and just it was cool. Like I could talk to him, and so, and then around that time, I was I loved Marvel. I loved talking about it, following all the whole timeline. It was just such a cool movie.
I've watched every goddamn movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I just loved them, the connections and stuff. I just all the little Easter eggs and shit. And then I'd see something, and I'm pretty sure I remember reading about that in the comics a little bit. And I go and I refresh my mind about the comics, and then I could talk to people hey man, do you know why Tony looked left instead of right? It's because in this comic, it was just all this deeper stuff, and I loved it. And then I started getting the idea. I'm I have a job, I'm not broke, I can build shit. Let's make a suit. I can do this now, I have everything I need. I just need a way to get the suit. I need a palette. I need a blank canvas. And I looked in the EVA foam. I didn't like how it looked. It's cool for really big costumes and big cosplay, but it's hard to get EVA foam. And I'll go on record saying this, everyone wants to piss at me, that it doesn't look like metal. It takes you so long to get EVA foam to be shiny like metal. And it just doesn't look right for Iron Man costumes, I think. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. So it's called an opinion.
Does it look kind of matte, like a matte finish?
No matter, it still just looks foamy and matte. It won't hold a very nice deep gloss. Yeah. You can't just clear coat the shit out of it, Yeah. Plastic, on the other hand, this is probably the best piece I ever made. Just how shiny it came out.
Yeah.
I can buff and polish this. There's Carl wax on this right now.
Yeah.
And I've never seen EVA come out this good. Yeah. If somebody wants to send me a picture of it, please do. It's hard. It's a lot of work. But I can just print this and then sand it down and paint it like anything else. No, this wins. So I saw that the printers had come down, talked to the wife thing, whatever, got the printer. And I started just trying to learn. I was all right, I got a big printer. Let's figure out the hobby. And I'm all right, I gotta, let's try the helmet first, let's try a hand. Let's try. Now, I found there's a free Iron Man file, a suit for a file, or file for a suit, on a website called Thingiverse. And it's just a host website. It's all 3D models, all free. And they have everything, anything you can think of. Do you watch Rick and Morty?
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Meeseeks.
Hold on, I'm not. Promise. Here.
What is my purpose?
So this is a working camera, though. It's a working nanny cam.
Oh shit!
So I bought the Wi-Fi camera to watch my printers while I wasn't home, so I could keep an eye on them. And I went onto the website, and I'm let me find out. The second I opened this out of the box, I'm that looks like the butter robot. I was that's. Hold on. Yeah. So I went onto the website, typed in Wise Camera Butter Robot, and somebody had already designed it. Yeah. So I dragged the file and printed the pieces, and now I have a little butter robot, and we can get all set. And it works.
Why? So just, by the way, if I don't know why, but when I sit back, I've had people tell me that they think I'm not interested anymore. No, it's just my back. So just don't pay attention if I'm leaning back, dude. So why do you need that to watch your 3D? Was it while it's printing, or is it just watching your babies?
No, it's watching your babies, but at any time a print can fail. The printer a million things can go wrong. Okay. A million things need to go right. One thing can go wrong, and then that's it. You lost your print.
It's just fucked. Okay.
Actually, here I have a good example of that. Where is it? Here. I have parts all over the room, so I have a lot of good examples just everywhere. This is a mask that got knocked off.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see it right there. You see how there's a indent under my finger?
Uh-huh.
So what happened is, as this was printing, it right here started to get droopy, and it wasn't supported properly. Okay. So it tilted to the side. And then the nozzle came by and knocked it off.
Oh.
And there's a little dent being hot.
Oh,
So this was supposed to be this one. No, yeah, yes, this one. So it was supposed to be the mask for this helmet.
okay. So it's.
And it failed.
I was going to ask that earlier. When you're printing, how do you have to, or is it just like, is it not even an issue? But I guess you kind of just said it was. How does it support its own weight when building it? Like, does it have to cool down? Does it start to? Okay.
So there's cooling fans on it right next to the nozzle. So as the filament comes out of the nozzle and right behind it, as it starts to cool down, there's a fan blowing on it to cool it down.
Now, would it be beneficial to do it in a room that's just really cold? Like, get like a portable air conditioner and jack it up in your room? I mean, electricity bill aside.
Yes, no. It depends on what you're printing. It depends on the material. There's a lot of different things. If you're printing ABS plastic, you need the entire room to be like 60 degrees Celsius, which is like, what, 110, 120 degrees?
Jesus.
So what people do there when they print ABS is they actually make an acrylic enclosure around.
I was going to say, yeah. So do you put like a box around it? Yeah.
This is an ABS. ABS is a nightmare to print with. I will never print with it. No. This is a PLA plus plastic, polyectic acid, I think it's called. And it's a little softer. It prints at a better temperature, and it's a lot more forgiving. And it's very easy to sand. Yeah. So there's a lot of benefits to making something like this.
Yeah.
And then what the program itself does is it builds some. I wish I had a piece of it right here. I kind of threw a lot of it out. Yeah. So if you print a mask standing up, that's how I print these masks, just standing straight up like that, just boom. Oh, wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Okay, so it's literally just top to bottom.
Yeah, so the program itself, what it'll do is depending on what settings you have, it'll detect where all the angles are, overhangs, and it'll make little support structures to hold it up.
And do you like snip those away, or are those built in?
You snip them away. When they're done, you pop it off of the supports, and sometimes there's some cleaning up. And depending on how good your settings are, like I said, there's a lot of just little calibrations you have to do. Some people spend hours and days trying to break supports off of parts because they're too tight. They're too fused on there, where if they're not fused enough, they're not doing anything, and the part will just fall all over.
Tip over. No.
Yep.
Why would it be difficult
on helmets like this, I'll actually print them. Like some people will print them like this, like in their normal resting position, but then you need to support the whole top, right? So then there'll be all these supports coming up through the top, and then you got to break them all out, and it's just work. But if you flip it upside down like that, then you only need a little bit of support up here.
Okay.
So you can get creative with how you place the object. And I'm still working on it, but like the back of this right here, there's a little hole.
Yeah.
That's where it was sitting, and that's where the part broke away. And I had to print it like this.
Okay.
And this is easier to fill and repair than trying to break off a bunch of stuff in there. So it's a give take. It's just experience and trying to figure out what the best way to orient your part is.
Now, would you?
I've seen. What's up?
I was gonna say. Now, would you ever print it one way, and then I guess this would be a waste of materials, but you'd print it one way and then print it another way, and so you kind of get the best, almost like Venn diagram type. You could get like the best of both worlds and like not have to use the part with all the supports, or is that just overcomplicating something that isn't that much of a hassle?
No, that is actually a very good point. There are benefits to doing that. So there's programs where I have a part that I've done that with. Oh, this actually, yeah, the ass plate.
What? The ass plate.
So I'm about to show you my ass on camera.
Dummy thick Iron Man.
Yeah, not safe for work. Wait,
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, shit, it works.
So this would fit on my printer if I stood it up like this.
Okay.
But now I would need a support.
Overhangs.
See?
Yeah.
There's a line going right down the middle of this, the ass crack.
Okay.
So what in the program, what I did is I cut it in half.
Okay.
And then turned it on its side like that. And it was at a much better angle, and I was able to tilt it forward a little bit.
Okay.
So then the program can calculate if this is under a 70-degree angle, it doesn't need a support.
Okay.
And so that meant this whole thing, half of it was able to print one shot standing up with no supports.
Now, is there a plastic you can use that it's like so strong it doesn't need to be supported, or is that possible? But now you're just getting into like an expensive realm. Like again, like is it worth?
Any plastic.
Yeah.
Any plastic can do that. It depends on your settings. It's called bridging, and it's very hard to do. That means your printer can print in thin air, and the filament won't fall down. It means it's cooling so fast that it won't droop.
Yeah. Now,
that adds a whole other list of complications to things, because the nozzle wants to squish. When the nozzle is close to the part, it needs to be close to the last layer to actually come out. The plastic comes out and it squishes out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now it doesn't have that. If it's printing in thin air, it doesn't have that little bit of back pressure.
Yeah.
So it doesn't attach to itself properly.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's benefits and so it can complicate things. But that's again about designing your part or orienting it the right way. Like I'll see people who'll take a face mask and they'll be like, oh, it's better to print it like this, flat. And then what they're left with is they'll take the mask off, and all on the top part right here, it crumbles in their hands. And it looks like this, looks like crop circles.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's printing in thin air.
Yeah. I was going to say it probably jagged almost because there's so many. Yeah.
It'll print in spirals, but since there was nothing under it for the plastic to push out, the next layer doesn't touch it. So it's this like squishy, it's this weird squishy feeling that it pretty much ruins the part. It happens a lot of times on the tops of helmets when you don't have the support inside of it. Because now instead of the nozzle moving up and down, it's doing this, and it has nothing to push against.
Now, could you somehow like have your printer or have on the inside like multiple axes to where the entire thing would rotate? Like print a little bit, shift it, print a little bit, shift it, print, or is that just getting too expensive for a problem that doesn't require that much engineering?
Yeah, that's not. So some people are messing around with something called I think it's like 5-axis printers.
Yeah,
and it's a nozzle that can do this, and it moves around, but they're still very crude, and they're still in their infancy.
I was talking about the entire, not the nozzle. I was talking about like the actual like template that you're printing on. Excuse me, the actual template you're printing. Like
it's either or.
Okay.
It's either or at that point. It's either you move the part, and so the nozzle prints, or you move the nozzle around the print, and the print's not moving.
If you had to move the nozzle, you'd have to calculate, does it have enough pressure? Is it pushing it out enough? Versus because if it's coming straight down, we got gravity at 9.81 meters per second squared coming straight down. If you're at sideways, or if you're coming up from the bottom, it's not gonna, gravity's not pulling it into the next spot. So you would move just but then again, that brings in a whole bunch of complications, because now instead of moving just a tiny nozzle head, you're moving this entire it's like when I'm doing like designing on my iPad, instead of like moving the pencil, excuse me, the pencil, instead of moving the pencil around, I'll shift the entire iPad. Does that make sense?
I think it could be done. Yeah, I think it could be done. It's just going to be a matter of, is it required enough for somebody to R&D it,
Yeah, is there any benefit above the cost?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was... God, we were talking about 19 different things right there.
It doesn't matter. Are there any like multi nozzles? Have 2 nozzles in one printer? Could you ever have like, I don't know, would that work at all? Or is there, again, what's the benefit versus the cost of engineering it? I don't know, maybe one could support the other. You're doing this and move this hand, almost like tying your shoe. You're using multiple spots. Like, could you have multiple nozzles? Like maybe one on the bottom and the other hang. I don't know. I'm just thinking of what you're saying of like has to smush. So I'm just thinking anything to prevent that falling and creating the crop circle problem.
Maybe. Probably. There are printers that do have two nozzles, and what they'll do is they'll print different materials or different colors. So that one nozzle will come in, that'll work. So you could actually have printers that'll come through and they'll print red, stop, gray, come up, print gray, stop, red. And they just go, they'll go back and forth. It uses a lot more material, and it's a lot harder to calibrate. But there are printers that do that have two different heads that'll come in and out with each other. But there's a reverse of that. So as the material is fed through the nozzle in one color, right? And you can only print one color. And, I'm pretending like I'm not going to paint the thing. But there are people who want just a part in one color as a miniature, and they don't want to paint it. They make something called, and I just totally forgot the name of it. It's a box that you put a bunch of different color filament into, and it talks to the printer and it talks to the program. And oh god, it's gonna bug me. I don't know the name of the damn thing. It's like a silhouette, or I don't know. Anyway, you have like 4 different colors feeding in, almost like a color printer.
Yeah.
And out of the box will come one color.
Okay.
And by the time that color reaches the nozzle, it's the right color.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it'll turn the filament into this rainbow mixture of just bullshit.
Yeah.
And by the time it gets to the nozzle, it's the right color because it knows how far away it is.
Yeah, that's with a biology degree. That's just DNA. That's just transcription, translation. That's proteins lining up and saying like, we got this. It's all coming through.
Yep, and it does it's called a purge block. So what it'll do is before it actually prints on the part, it'll push a little bit of filament out into this block that's getting created next to it, just to make sure it's the right color.
Yeah.
But then it goes back to the part, and then that gives you access to infinite amount of colors, as opposed to where right now I can only get black, white, red, blue, green. I get primary colors and some metallics and some silks, but I can't get a slightly less white or a slightly redder, with that box that I'm just going to lose my mind trying to think of it. It can make, it's called a palette. I think it's actually called a palette too. Yeah, simple. And with that, you have access to the entire color spectrum as long as you feed in the right colors, the right primary colors. So that thing's pretty cool, but I don't have one because I paint all my shit and I don't need it.
Hold on. Back in a stroke, and but luckily we're alive. And so how would what would be the next step for you in 3D printing? Like what is the next as you're getting more into it? Or is it a matter of, is it something that throwing money at doesn't necessarily make it better versus like your skills are increasing? Like is there like a 3D printer where you're like, if I won the lottery, like that's my baby? Like, or is it just skill? Is it just learning?
Yes, no. So I'm still not I'm losing my voice now too. I'm still not sure what I am going to do next. I started it as a means to an end. Like, print the suit, make the suit.
Have the suit.
That was have the suit. I'm not sure at first I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with the, what do I do when I'm done? Do I keep upgrading the suit? Do I make another? Do I just sell the printers? I'm not sure. But as I got more into the hobby, and it's going to sound like I'm trying to toot my own horn. I got very good at it quick.
Okay.
Because it was this culmination of just everything I liked in a hobby. It had, it had painting. I could do fiberglass work. I brought over some resin casting work from cars, and I got to do little details because I used to build like, Gundam models and little hobby models. I like electronics. So like, it was everything. It was just this big culmination of like, I just like doing this shit, and I wasn't expecting to be this hooked on it. Yeah. So it's taken me back a little bit.
Okay.
And I mean, the amount of messages I get every day, like from Reddit and Instagram, just how'd you get your print so smooth? What are you doing? And I'm doing a lot of stuff wrong. I've noticed there are a lot of taboos, or not taboos. There's a lot of expectations in the 3D printing realm of, don't use power tools, you'll ruin the print. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, like, there's a lot of people who read the forums. They'll read a lot of, there's so much misinformation out there, and it scares everyone new. So everyone new thinks that this misinformation is law. So they spread the misinformation. And it's just this cyclic effect of, I read on the biggest 3D printing forum, you shouldn't use a palm sander on PLA. I'm going to tell you that's bullshit, because that's all I use.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. Like, that whole suit, like, how long, it must have taken you weeks and months to sand that. No, it took me an afternoon to sand the entire thing, because I used a dual orbital palm sander and sandpaper, and I'm not an idiot. So I sanded everything down, and within a day it was all ready to prime. And I'll see people they'll post on some of their groups, they'll spend a whole weekend just wet sanding a helmet, and they won't even come close to touching how smooth I got my stuff.
Why is that?
People are afraid. They're afraid to try stuff. They don't want to mess things up, and they don't have a hands-on knowledge of stuff. Okay. I've been working with plastic for a while with like my models and stuff. I'm very good at understanding what reacts to plastic, what doesn't. But it's experimenting. People are afraid, just so afraid to mess something up. And like, I didn't, oh my God, the amount of questions. What tutorials did you watch for this? How did you learn that? What guide did you use? Especially for like motorizing the helmet and making the helmet flip up and down. Holy shit. Every day I get a couple messages about that. What tutorial did you use? I'm like,
exactly.
I didn't. Like, I figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a little bit of understanding of engineering, and like, I want the mast to do this. All right. I found some hinges that somebody else made already, and I repurposed them, and like, oh no, that one doesn't do it. That one's taped shut. Yeah. But it's a lot of just getting your hands dirty with it and trying things.
And fucking up.
I've messed things up.
Yeah. It's, dude, with graphic design, I've had people ask me, they're like, how did you make this? I'll make like weird, crazy fucking designs. And the reality is like, I started graphic design courses this past August, but that was just to like fine hone it. For 3 years, it was just like, dude, I made shit on an iPhone 4. Like, it was like, well, how did you learn this? And I was like, dude, like thousands of hours of just fucking around, like getting free, like what computer did you use? I'm like, dude, I used free apps on an iPhone 4. Just figure shit. Don't be afraid to be like, well, you normally don't do that. You never put it into a PNG before it's a JPEG. Like, I still don't know what those stand for. Like, just go in and be like, use your intuitive mind and just be like, how do I do this? How do I? It's like Legos. You don't have to buy a Lego set. Sure, you can. You can buy the Millennium Falcon or the Statue of Liberty and build it. But dude, the most fun and the most you can learn is you just get a big box of Legos and you're like, let's just start snapping shit together. Next thing you know, you're like, I made a tank. I made a car. Whatever. It's just, you got to be, whatever instructions and tutorials are out there, like, people never look past that and they go, well, where did those come from? Someone made that tutorial, and how did they make it? They made it by fucking up and just pioneering it, and that's what worked for them. But that's not the end all. It's not, it's not like the periodic table of elements. It's not some set thing. It's like, dude, there are different ways to master shit, especially in something as new as 3D printing. It's not like learning to play a violin where it's like we've kind of figured that out over a couple hundred years. Like, it's 3D printing. Yep. It's brand fucking new. This is the Wild West. Like,
and people, like I said before, like, a lot of the people who are entering this hobby, they're more on the geekier side. They're more on they like the software, and they like the idea of being able to make something, and they might not have the the hardware applications, which it's fine. That's how you learn, you figure it out. I just happen to come from a background where I've always had access to both and enjoyed doing both. Computers and like software, but I like, I can build shit too. I like that stuff. I'm an engine mechanic. Like I'm comfortable taking things apart. That stuff doesn't scare me.
You just put the glove on?
So it's being able to look at these. What's up?
Are you putting the glove on? Yeah. That's so badass, dude. That's so badass.
Like this is one of my favorite things. I think I'm going to lose a little bit of light because I'm about to unplug my.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
you're good. Yeah, that's the
glove. USB powered lamp I'm using for better lighting, so you can see me.
Oh, dude, it's fine.
Yeah, that won't work, but I should have put that on.
Holy shit!
Right? It's just a little finger touch.
Yeah, that's so badass, dude. That's so badass.
I broke the LED middle one. It's on order right now. I cut it in half. So yeah, it's just two little wires at the end of the fingers, and then you can do the.
I am inevitable. Yeah, dude, it's fucking. You're goddamn Iron Man. Now,
where is it? I thought.
So you made the whole suit.
What's that?
So you made the whole Iron Man suit.
Making.
Okay.
So yeah, I like forgot for a second. Like you found me on Reddit, not Instagram. So you haven't really followed the whole Instagram and YouTube build.
No.
So you just saw which thread did you see that you messaged me on? Was it the arm moving around?
So people will ask me, they're like, what all do you know? So what I do is I don't prep for any of these because I like them to be like a natural conversation between two strangers. You don't prep questions for a stranger. You start shooting the shit at like an airport terminal. You just talk. And so what I do is I don't just have on anyone because like I want the conversation to be interesting. So I find interesting people who are passionate about their shit. But then I purposely won't go any deeper than that. So to answer your question, I don't really know. I just remember seeing like a working Iron Man suit, and I was like, well, I just have to have that guy on my podcast. But no, I don't. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. I was like, did he just make the glove, or did he? Because you're showing me the helmet, the butt cheeks, and I'm like, did this motherfucker make the whole suit? So no, I don't. Send me after this. Send me all the links so other people can find it. I'll put it in the description and shit. But yeah, but yeah. What all do you have? Because I thought you just had the glove, but I saw the helmet. You showed me the shins, and I'm like, dude, this guy's got the full goddamn Iron Man suit.
I do. I could put it all on right now, but there's pieces scattered. There's pieces in my garage being painted right now. It's all over the place,
dude.
So that's the whole. Oh, wait, I have other lamps. Hold on. Yeah, that works.
Fuck, that's so sick, dude. We have to do another episode where you just wear the whole suit. just sit here and talk to me as Iron Man.
There's more. Hold on. Oh, you're gonna do that to me. Oh, I did it.
What?
I think it got unplugged when I put it on.
Oh,
I'm mad.
It's okay.
Epic reveal is not epic.
I forgive you. I forgive you. Dude, you gotta do an episode where you just literally come in as fucking Iron Man. We'll get like a Tony Stark like soundboard and just sit here and answer questions as Iron Man.
When it's done, I will very much entertain doing that once the whole project's done. My drop dead date is the end of May.
Fuck yeah. The glove looks.
That's when I need to. That's Comic-Con. That's
okay.
That's it.
Dude, you're gonna fucking steal the show. You're gonna steal the show.
I'm not the only one to do that.
Yeah, but they all got that foam shit. They don't have yours. They all got that foam shit.
They do. I'm not the only one who's 3D printed a suit.
Fuck them. Yeah, you are. We don't fact check here. We just say whatever we want.
Right?
Yeah.
However, I have put a lot of care into this work, this suit, to make it not like some other ones I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to eliminate a lot of those problems. and I think I'm doing okay at it so far. But we're, time will tell.
Yeah.
It's my first cosplay. It's my first suit. I've never done a cosplay suit.
Yeah.
I think I made fun of cosplayers in high school. Like, I was never that person, but you grow up and
now you're like, oh, this is kind of badass. Like, okay.
Like, I'm sure there's going to be some high schooler, some kid in high school is going to make fun of me.
Yeah.
Like that happens.
Whatever. Fuck that kid. He's in high school.
All right, this is what I was trying to do earlier.
Jesus, dude. Jesus Christ.
And it's just a little trigger in the list.
And I'm literally writing down the timestamp so I can use that.
There you go. And we can do one. And then if the wire's gonna come undone.
That's insane.
Two.
How did you?
Then it'll be
But so how did you even? Like, I'm kind of understanding the 3D printing now, but that is, dude, the fingers are so intricate. Jesus, look at that thing. Holy shit. Whoever's listening to this, you just have to watch this part because I can't describe it. It's, dude, that looks like a Marvel prop. That's insane.
Thanks, man.
Thanks. No, dude. Fucking thank you for showing me. It's Jesus, dude. It's
this. So this was all the electronics was like. This was the easy part for me. This was the part that I never. That's the part that seems to hang a lot of people up. So that was a question. A lot of people on Instagram sent me. They were like, "Hey, because I posted just asking like, hey, I'm going to do a podcast, and I could be a little more in depth with maybe some answers on some shit." But I already covered. People know what material to use. That's an easy answer. Processes, blah blah blah. Make you a suit? No. Where did I learn all this? So yeah. So what a lot of people struggle with is like the programming, the electronics. The big thing is the faceplate. Like having an iron. Like you need the faceplate to open and close. That's part of the suit. And people use Arduinos, programming Arduinos, like Raspberry Pis and shit.
Yeah.
I haven't used the same.
Okay.
That's the big thing. Like they're like, oh, what are you using? C#? Are you using Arduinos? Are you using Raspberry Pis? What's your code? I don't know how to use Arduinos, and I've already learned so much else to build this. I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'll learn them one day. I'll upgrade the suit one day, but right now I'm very, very skilled in 12-volt DC car electronics.
Okay.
All the lights and glove are from Osnium.com. It's a car electronics and home lighting website. That's where I learned. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going with relay systems. I'm going with direct 12-volt DC. The lights in the palms are 12-volt LEDs that go in your little map lights in your car.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm bringing to this. And from what I can tell, I'm the first person to do that. Everybody programs. There's tons of other people doing 3D printed Iron Man suits. That's fine. I'm the first one doing this all analog. No programming. Just circuitry. And to me, that's easier because it's less bugs. I don't have to debug a code. I'm limited on certain things. Like I can't get the mask to close real slow and then the eyes to fade on real slow. But if you watch the movie, that never happens.
No, yeah.
So I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly. People are like, oh man, they'll have this the sequence. The mask comes down and then the eyes flicker and glow on. I'm like,
that never happened.
That's never happened.
That maybe happens in like a
slam on.
Yeah, that maybe happens on like a trailer, like a teaser, like. But that doesn't happen in the movie. Tony's just ready to rock.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
He'll be talking, and a missile will come out of space, and it's slam on go.
Everything is.
That's it.
When he's in the helicopter and he puts his finger in the thing, or what is it? When is it black? Yeah,
he's just down.
Or it's like what is it? When he gets attacked, is it Black Panther that attacks, or is it when Bucky attacks and he's just got the glove and he fires? But it's never.
It's all right there.
It's relatively slow, like in like the first movie when they're showing you the first sequences, right? The real the 360 panning and you see it all coming together, but it's That's so fucking badass.
So that's the glove.
What, you have both hands?
I have the full suit.
Well, you said the full suit wasn't finished, so now I don't know what's real and what's not. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. I don't know if I can trust you anymore, Frank. So what part have you...
I have the full suit printed and done, and it's painted and fitted right now.
Okay.
So I have all the pieces printed. So...
Fuck yeah.
Here, we'll do this.
Jesus Christ. Can you put the helmet on too?
I don't actually have a finished helmet. It's not painted yet.
Dude, you've got a goddamn Iron Man suit.
So, that's the arm you probably saw.
Yeah. Jesus, dude. That's so bad.
And it's not that uncomfortable either.
No, that's the thing is it doesn't look like... Yeah, it doesn't look like some like cheap like clamp on shit. Like it yeah. God, it's so cool.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm missing like a crucial piece here. I think. All right, so one thing I've been fighting is gaps. If you hit Google and you Google Iron Man cosplay, you'll see a lot of suits. They have big gaps. You can see the person underneath it.
Yeah, so I would imagine what you just wear like an Under Armour suit or something. You gotta have some.
You can even see that in some of it. And okay, at a quick glance, the average Joe isn't going to notice it. I can't not see it.
Yeah,
you can see their thighs. You can see their arms. You can see their neck. You can see a lot of them. And it's like...
It takes away from the whole thing.
One piece of cosplay that you shouldn't be able to see under, it's an Iron Man armor.
Yeah.
Because it's armor.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a full suit.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of work, like closing gaps. So you can't see that.
Yeah. Now,
like getting the elbow up and move.
Now, are you going to be able to fix even the little parts that you can see? Are you going to be able to put something under that, or?
So there's a plate. I haven't finished it yet. It's this.
Yeah.
And that's going to go in there.
Okay.
And it'll be on. This will be like attached to my skin.
Okay.
So as I flex, it'll kind of subduct.
Yeah.
And that'll disappear. And I will still have a suit. It's a dark red morph suit.
Yeah.
So some things will be unavoidable.
Mm-hmm.
Like there just is no way around it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing my best to limit what you. When I move and do poses, certain things will show. Under here, it will show a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I'm working on just at rest, you can't see any of it. Mm-hmm. And it's been an uphill battle.
Yeah, I was going to say, that seems like the more complicated part than anything would just be like...
So,
yeah.
This is the whole...
Fuck yeah. That's so cool, dude. That's so cool. You made an Iron Man suit. Like, you legitimately made an Iron Man suit. Like, no bullshit. Like, you made an Iron Man suit.
Plastic.
Fuck that. It's iron. Don't break my illusion.
Yep. So this is like one of my favorite parts right here. Yeah. Just because how nice I think it came out, how smooth it came out.
No, that looks like metal. That legit looks like metal. Now, are you gonna have any like projectiles? Get like a spring loaded.
No.
You need to get what is it? The ex-wife from Iron Man 2. From Hammer Industries, the ex-wife. This is the Monte Cristos, baby. This will write you a story that will make the artist. Under the bunker you just busted. This is the Monte Cristo. This will, yeah. These are the Monte Cristos. These are the Cubans, baby.
These are the Cubans. All right, so here's another part that I just got done with today.
Ah, okay. Core.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Is it?
That just fits on you.
Ab day every day.
Ab day every day. That just fits on you, though. That's just... Jesus, dude. No,
those are the steps that make it different. That is... Okay, all right. I'm about to go on a little bit of a tangent here.
Go.
So some people will make the suits and the cosplay, and they'll size it to them. They'll print it to fit them, and you run into a problem. A lot of the people doing this aren't built like Iron Man, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying like built Tony Stark. They're not built like this robot with giant shoulders, big arms, and a skinny waist.
Yeah.
Few people are.
Yeah. That's like the male Barbie.
Who are doing cosplay.
Yeah.
So they'll scale it to them. They'll size it to them. And what that does is that'll give them a weird shaped stomach, or like there'll be no shoulders or chest. They'll fit the arms, and the arms will be really skinny. And then they'll print a helmet. And the helmet is my biggest pet peeve, because they look like bobbleheads.
They're just fucking huge.
They look like I call it iron bobblehead syndrome, because what people do is they'll print the helmet really big to fit all the electronics, to fit the motors, to fit the arms, to fit the eye. They print it bigger. So now you have this big head that isn't sized to your head, but everything else is sized to your body.
So it looks
now you just look like a bobblehead.
So it looks like some Xbox avatar.
Or like a mead. Hold on. Look how big this thing is on my head.
Yeah, it looks like a Just Cause mod where you can get like big head, or it was a James Bond. The 007s where you get big heads.
Exactly, but if I wanted to motorize this and do all that, it would have to be about that size. I've gone through 7 helmets, just sizing to get one just big enough for me to put the electronics in, but no bigger. And I've had to come up with a lot of my own little hinges and systems to do that, because I don't want that. I don't want that bobblehead effect. It just ruins it. You know, you're supposed to be a big body and like a nice fit head. So this is the best one I've gotten so far, and this is held on with magnets. So this just goes on.
Fuck yes, dude. You're Iron Man. That's so badass, dude. But that looks perfect. That's not bobblehead. That legit looks like a lean, mean Iron Man, like ready to fuck shit up. Dude, I'm watching Iron Man tonight. You've got me so fucking jacked up. I'm gonna download Iron Man.
You can see how close it is to my whole face.
Yeah. No, dude, it's like, please excuse my lack of comments. I'm just kind of in awe. I'm staring at it. I'm just.
So this one, I printed this too small. There's no room for anything in this except my head.
Okay.
This is the smallest it could be and still fit me.
Okay.
So if I now I know if I scale this up just a little bit, I can get the electronics in it.
Okay.
Right now I can get LED eyes. That's easy.
Okay.
But the faceplate won't automatically. That's it.
Jesus.
And it stays together. This was a test. I got the magnets. A buddy from Instagram recommended them. They're magnets from a jewelry store. They're used on purses, women's purses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And they're self-aligning, so they always go back to where they want to go.
That's brilliant.
And yep, I'm using it for the abs. I'm using it for different parts of the armor to keep it lined up.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, that's shit that no one would think about unless you fuck around and do trial and error. That's what you're not going to get from tutorials. That's what we talked about earlier.
I've gone through buckles. I've gone through buckles and straps. I've gone through elastic bands. I've gone through making my own little brackets to now magnets to getting, because the arm just sits on my arm. The arm just sits there. That's fine. The legs sit there. The thighs are on suspenders, so my chest holds them up. But getting here to line up, because I have the back and then I have the front, and getting it to line up and not be funky has been kicking my ass. But I need to do it because it bugs me. And magnets are the answer to that, because it keeps everything perfect, lined up straight.
Yeah.
And since I made this helmet too small, I'm like, you know what? Let me throw those magnets in there and see if they work. And they work.
And so you used the magnets in the helmet because you couldn't fit clamps in there and shit.
Exactly. I couldn't fit the clamps. I couldn't fit the motors. So that helmet. I'm probably still going to finish it, and I'm going to use it as a photo shoot piece. Because no matter what, that helmet will always be smaller than So this is the helmet that's going to go with the suit. This is the actual, I'm still working on it, helmet.
Dude, that just looks like, that looks like an awesome, like, antagonist Iron Man, just like matte black.
Yeah, right?
Like, yeah, it's almost some like Black Panther Iron Man shit.
There was one point where everything on the suit was painted white. It was primed white, everything. And I have pictures of it, and it looks cool as hell.
That's badass, dude.
I'm a sucker for white NECA, white armors and stuff.
Yeah.
So when it was in that phase, everybody was like, dude, that looks awesome. Like, you should keep it like that. And I'm like, I want to, but I want the real suit. Like, I gotta finish it, you know?
Yeah, that one would look like a badass, like, space-worthy Iron Man. You know, like
so this is
a lunar Iron Man.
These are the old abs. The old design abs.
Okay. As opposed to one.
And it's all white. And it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it still looks fun. Yeah, man. So, shout out Skype for dropping the call. But
we'll blame internet and Skype and a couple people.
Yeah. We will remain unnamed. They know who they are. But we're back to we got Iron Man here. We got Tony Stark. So of course we're gonna figure it out. Yeah. So what do you do to make that look like the helmet? Do you gotta paint it? What do you gotta do first? That's so cool. Goddamn Iron. Holy shit. You're Iron Man. This is Iron Man 2020. So what are the steps you got to do to make that the helmet? You got to buff? What do you got to do? You got to paint, prime? Walk me through it.
So this is a raw print right here. This helmet. Okay. This is what it looks like coming right off the printer. And let's see, I'll pull a little piece off. Stop it. It's a little hard to see now with the iPhone camera, but you can see it's a little ribbed.
Yes.
Like there's ridges. There's a little bit of lines. You know, there's the bottom looks a little weird and funky. So now I could have printed this in all red, and I could have printed this in like a gold, and it would have looked. You know, you would have been like, oh, that's an Iron Man helmet. That's fine. But the next step from here is sanding it.
Okay.
And what a lot of people do is, and this is one of the taboos that was in the hobby, right? You sand it a little bit, and then you start just hitting it with filler primer, like automotive filler primer.
Okay.
And that's what people would do for days. They would just hit it with primer, sand, and they would spend days on this. And that's what you did. That was like straight up, just do that. And why? Like, why spend that much time when you can take an orbital sander and just they're called layer lines, the lines of each layer, and it erases them. It just, just straight up, just smooths right over and makes them disappear.
Okay.
Now it's plastic, so if you sit on one spot for too long, it melts. Heat. This doesn't like heat. As a matter of fact. This is a piece of that plastic.
Okay.
This is like a leftover scrap from another print. And if you apply a little bit of heat to it for too long,
it falls apart.
It melts. Apply it longer and it'll just stay deformed. But you can use this to your advantage. You know how you said the abs fit me really nicely?
Uh-huh.
I used a heat gun to reshape the plastic.
Oh, shit. Okay. So again, back to just bullshitting and fucking up. Like, you don't learn that in a tutorial. You gotta get your hands dirty. You gotta fuck around.
Exactly. Now, wait, where is it? Here, we'll do, that's a good piece. We'll do this. So this is perfectly flat right now, right? And it's solid, right? So what I can do is just run a lighter. You gotta, I'm being a little less careful right now because I don't care about this part.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just folded. It just from its own weight. Now I can put it. I'm putting it on the corner of my desk and making like an edge.
Mm-hmm.
I cooled it down now. Now it's hard again.
Okay. So you can literally mold it and shape it to whatever you want.
Now.
Okay.
Pretty much. Now I did that with the hands. I made the palm fit better by heating the whole thing up and stuffing my hand in there and getting it to like sit better.
Really?
Yeah. I've widened the base out a little bit because this gets covered. This hole gets covered by the back plate, so you don't see it. So I don't care. And then all the fingers are held on by an elastic strap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, damn.
It's just glued together. That's it. They're glued. The fingers are glued to the elastic, and then I have a solid glove. You can actually see them in the knuckles.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't like that. The other hand isn't like that, though.
What's up?
The other hand, you can't see any skin under it.
No, they're both like this. You can see you probably weren't paying attention to it, which like it doesn't jump out at you. The hands are exactly the same.
Oh.
And I'll have that red morph suit on under it, so this will all be red too.
Okay. All right.
It's buried in a drawer right now, so I don't have access.
No, that's fine.
But all right. So yeah, after you have the print and after you sand it, you get it smooth. Then it just turns into just basic painting, like sand. So I don't use filler primer. It's expensive, it's messy, and I don't need to use it. So I'll just, I'll take the piece. I wish I had something that I had just only sanded and not painted. Which I don't. I don't have anything that's in that. I don't have anything that's in that stage. That
that's
weird
fine.
Stage, and then you start painting it. Like I'll hit it with a little bit of primer just to see where the imperfections are. Are there holes I need to fill? Are there gaps? Do I need to sand that part a little bit better? And then once you're there, you start painting. You spray paint it. You get the color you want. You wet sand it. You clear coat it. You buff it. Like over here, I have McGuire's car wax and polish, and that's what I use. Like when it's all done, like this is wax, like the same wax that's on a car. You can actually see it better in the FaceTime video.
Yeah.
I think you can see yourself. Put your hand up.
Yeah. Yeah. You can. You legitimately can. Yeah. Okay. So what's the order of let's go back to elementary school math. What's the order of operations for you get the thing finished? What do you? I don't know anything about any of this. So what did you buff it, prime it, paint it, sing it a song? I don't know. What is the step? What are the steps? Or are they all different?
So what I'll do, aside from having a part that is only sanded, which I have to. I really don't. Okay, cool. So there's that, and then that's. So the next steps for this helmet, the one that like is magnetized. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna sand this, and then once it's sanded and flat, I'm gonna prime it. Like these abs are just primed. Okay. I just got done with them today, and I might be able to get the right angle, but there's a line right down the center of them. That's where I glued them together.
Okay.
So this is printed in 4 pieces. I cut it here and across.
Okay.
And then glued it all together.
Okay.
And then I started sanding it down, trying to fill it in with wood filler or Bondo, whatever you want to use. And you just start doing that. You rinse and repeat. So now with the primer, now I can see better because it was black. I can see where all the imperfections are a lot better. But I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to fill in a little bit more on the inside, the center. Mm-hmm. But if I'll drive, I have to call it at some point. At some point, I have to say it's good enough because I have bad OCD with this. If it was up to me, I'd still be making the first glove.
I have clinical. I legitimately have clinical OCD. I know what you're talking about. At
some point, I have to think like no one's going to see that. Like nobody's going to notice that but me. Yeah. So I need to work. Like I'll go to my wife a lot and be like, "Babe, does this look okay?" And she'll be like, "What's what look okay? It looks fine." I'm like,
"Yeah."
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not to compare yourself to him, but I mean, like Da Vinci's quote is, "No art is ever finished; it's just abandoned." But it's true. Yes, exactly. You get to a point where you're like, I have to keep going because I will sit here for. There are graphic design pieces that, if I had an eternity, I would still be working on them. That I finished a year ago, I would still be, because you can never. They're never. It's not. You're not making a sandwich. There is no definitive end. It's just
like. At a quick glance, does anything look wrong with this?
No, it looks fucking amazing.
I could spend an hour picking this thing apart. This is trash.
And I'm sure you could.
Exactly.
That's how I am with my designs. Yeah.
So it's sanded, right? You primed it. You're happy with the primer stage, and this relates to car body work and automotive work. Your finished product. It doesn't matter how good your clear coat is. It doesn't matter how good your paint is. If your prime and prep stage isn't good, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You wasted all that time. If you think, there's a little imperfection during the prime stage, that'll get covered up, you're wrong. That's not how that works at all.
Why is that?
It shows through, because your primer is going to be your thickest application. Your base coats and your color are thin. Any imperfections are going to come. They're going to build up and come right through.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's why, I'm still going to sit here. I'm probably just going to fill a little bit more in the center just to get rid of that line. But up here, my arms are going to cover all this. It's on my side. Again, I'll spend too long trying to fix it.
Yeah.
But this is what you're going to see.
Yes.
This is what I want to take time on.
Yes.
So there's a little bit more to do here. Once I'm done with that, the ab part, there's a lot of different color in it, kind of like the chest, the shoulders. There's gold, red, and gray. So I have to figure out what color is the least. Because, I don't have it in here. This will do. No, actually, I have this one. The helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Logically, what color should I probably paint first? Which, because I don't want to waste tape. So if I had painted all the red first, I would then need to cover up all the red to paint the gray.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Reverse that. So what I did is I just painted the gray. I just literally just spray painted. I didn't tape anything off. I just just free willy-nilly hit it with gray where I needed to.
And then you can cover it and precision.
Exactly.
Okay.
Cover the smaller parts with frog tape, which is amazing stuff. Oh my god!
Shout out frog tape.
Yeah, sponsor me, please.
Shout out frog tape. Yeah, sponsor Frank.
So then I covered up the gray part and just was able to bomb the whole thing red.
Okay.
So I got to figure out where is it actually. I have this neat little figure as reference.
Fuck yeah.
So, on the abs, there's a little bit of gray, a little bit of gold. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to spray the gold, spray the gray, and that's what I did with the shoulder too. I did the gray first, then I did the red, and then I covered that up and did all the gold.
Okay. Now for the colors, how do you? I guess this is more of a simple question, but yeah, how do you get the exact colors, or is that just a matter of just finding that? You look disappointed.
It took. I have a whole YouTube video on.
Because if you get the wrong shade of red, man, that's not Iron Man. That's a Beijing knockoff. Oh, this Iron Man or Hero Freeze.
You didn't say anything about this helmet being the wrong red until I put it up to another one, right?
Yeah. No, I didn't notice it until okay, but yeah, that's like a darker maroon almost.
But then there's this color, and then there's. I have a little pen holder to hand.
See, to me, those look the same.
They're and in person, they're not. There is no metallic to this at all. This is just straight up red, colonial red Rust-Oleum. This was a fucking nightmare. I went through 16 or 17 different reds.
Jesus.
Trying to get this perfect red. I went with if there's a red metallic in England, I bought it. Amazon, eBay, Halfords, Homebase, B&Q. I bought it. And what you do is, I have it here, don't I? Yeah, I do. Spoons. That's the trick.
Oh, paint the spoon.
You get plastic spoons, you sand them, you paint them.
Okay.
They're a very good analog for
they're
plastic.
Well, I was gonna say because it's gotta look different on. You look at the can versus like what's it gonna look like on the.
The can tells you nothing.
Okay.
And then you have to think what color do you prime it, or what's your base coat? What color is the primer? So you do a lot of testing. And I went through dozens of spoons, and you lay them out. You just do a lot of trial and error. You clear coat it. You check durability. Can you sand it? Can you buff it? If you bend it, will it just will it flake off immediately?
Yeah, where you start to get like spider web type things. Like.
Exactly. So I thought I had the right red. I had a nice metallic red that I liked, and I painted basically the whole arm red. And then I went to clear coat it, and I clear coated it, and the clear coat dried, and then I taped off the red to do the gold. Did some of the gold. The second I took the tape off, all the red came off with it.
Oh, Jesus.
All of it. Ruined it. The clear coat didn't mix well with the paint. And that's a lot of trial and error stuff. Different brands, different chemicals. There's a lot of... it's literally just figuring it out sometimes.
Yeah.
You can read the can, you can read online, but sometimes paints just don't react well. Different colors. I had a gold. I don't know if you can see it behind me. It might be... There's that helmet right.
In the container? Or
that helmet. Yep. So that was the colors I thought I was going to go with. I liked the red, I liked the gold. But then I tested them with clear coat, and they both failed. The gold, it was for indoor use only. So what that means is it's for decoration. It has clear coat built into it, which means you can't put clear coat over it, or it ruins it. Trial and error. So I did a lot of tests like that. I took some extra parts, and I used 4 different golds, and then I sanded half of them, and then I clear coated all of them, and then I put tape on them, and I pulled the tape off real quick. Some of them, everything came off. The gold that you see on this, perfect. It's durable. My buddy asked me, he's like, have you done any durability tests? And I'm like, on accident, yeah.
Anger tests.
Wham! The parts are going to get hit. They're going to...
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to rub. They're going to touch. It's unavoidable. I could try all day to get a perfect, clean, durable suit. It's not going to happen. I'm going to have to accept that there's going to be dings and dents that are going to happen. When I tested... when I started testing this arm, this bicep...
Yeah, you see that flaky gold.
It peeled off right there because the shoulder hit it. But you know what? I think it kind of looks like a little bit of like weathered. I think it kind of looks nice.
Yeah, fucking endgame battle. Yeah, it looks. Yeah.
Yeah, like so. There's little chips, and I'm starting to become a little more okay with them. Not everything's perfect. It looks like metal chipping. It looks like metal. I
was gonna say it looks a little more real. It's like whenever I'd make like fake album covers on Photoshop. I finally started to like get to a good point because I'd start putting like fake wear on it, and it really makes the whole thing pop.
Like there's a little bit of discoloration on the front of like the shoulder plate, and I think I'm gonna be okay with it.
No, it looks good. It legitimately looks good. It's not even. I don't think it's even like a. I don't think it's even a compromise. I think it looks good. I think if you just, played it off, it actually looked like you intended to do that. You could play off some genius. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to weather it just a little bit. It's called oil wash. And what it does is you basically wash all the parts with a very diluted black paint.
Okay.
And all the paint seeps into all the lines and all the cracks of the piece, and then you wipe everything away, and it leaves a little bit of like an oily stain,
like a grime almost.
Exactly, like it's worn.
Yeah,
I'm not doing like battle damage. I put too much work into this to start dragging a soldering iron across it.
Yeah,
So there's going to be shifts. Like even like I think right there, the red started to come off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I'm becoming okay with it.
yeah. No, it's the OCD battle. Yeah, but because if you don't become okay with that, you're going to become fixed on that, and that's going to take away time from perfecting much more glare. Like if you showed me a little piece, I might say there's nothing wrong with that until you point it out. Versus like you just looking at me weird. Versus you that all that time obsessing on one little piece that could then lead to something like a huge oversight, like like having the bobblehead helmet and being like, oh, like yeah. But yeah, dude, it's what? So what?
No, you.
No, I'm just talking. It's So how? I don't know anything about priming and painting. So like, how does that affect? Is that like a thing you have to take into consideration? Are there different kind? Like, how is the paint gonna sit on this thing or that thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Some paints, there's stories of people that they don't prime the part. Now, there's different material, there's different chemicals in primer that like adhering to plastic. Now, there are chemicals in paint like acetone that don't. If you put acetone on this type of plastic, PLA plastic, it will melt it.
Well, acetone is literally nail remover is acetone.
Yes, but now some paints have a mixture of paint thinner or acetone in them to dilute the color and keep them from spraying, let them spray better. So some paints have paint thinner in them, but paint thinner is almost like acetone and it will ruin plastic. So if you don't use a primer on some things, you'll paint it and it'll actually melt. So you need primer. So you need certain layers. You need to follow certain processes. Or you test it on a shitty piece and you're like, oh, this is okay. Because there's some paints now, like Krylon has 2-in-1. It's paint and primer all together. Just spray it on whatever. That's good. It's good for plastics. But you still need to sand. If you don't sand, there's no good adhesion. There's no good bonding. So I think right now, if I took a piece of tape and put it on that helmet that isn't finished at all, the tape wouldn't stick because as the print comes out, there's it almost leaves like a little bit of an oil on the part. So you need to strip that off. You need to clean that off. You need to sand it. You wipe it, and then you can prime it. Different paints don't like each other, like my clear coat issue that I went through. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened when it did because I only had an arm done. I didn't have the whole suit done. So there's steps and there's processes, and it's experience. Everybody who a lot of people who message me will ask, hey man, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? How'd you do this? And they want me to spoon feed them. There was one kid who was, bless his heart, man, he's still trying to make his suit, but he wants to be spoon fed.
Yeah.
He wants every time I update, hey man, how'd you do that? I'm like, dude, I had to figure that out.
So you have to too. It's like
I'll help you the best I can. It's a courtity that I'm making these videos. It's a courtesy that I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching. Yes. But there's a limit to
what it becomes. It takes away the dude. Right after I got into med school, I uploaded all of my MCAT study guides because MCAT courses cost like $3,000. I didn't want to pay that, so I just made my own. I scored in the top 4 percentile on the MCAT nationally. I beat the shit out of the test, and I decided, I was like, I had some friends that were like first-generation immigrants from Africa and Korea, and I was like, these guys can't afford it either. I don't have money problems. I didn't want to take the courses because fuck them, I'm a hardhead. So I put up my study guides for them for free. They both took it. They both improved their scores, got into med school. They're doctors now. And I was like, that's cool. So it's literally, if you go to my account on Reddit, the one I messaged you on, go back to the literal first post. Scroll all the way back to 2013, and it's me saying, here are my study guides. And there's hundreds of people. I still get messages 7-8 years later saying, dude, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to afford to get into med school, but you helped me get in. And that is kind of what you're talking about, that it feels good. You're like, oh, this is a service, but you're like, this is kind of cool. But it's when people start messaging you saying like, now how am I going to use these to get in, man? Because I just took the MCAT and I still did bad, and your study guys aren't helping. It's not my fucking problem, dog. That's not my fucking. I made these to help out my two first generation immigrants who I knew were gonna work their asses off, and it was just it was a matter of me giving them a little like, hey man, maybe this will make it easier. They were still gonna study 14 hours a day. Maybe I could sort of lubricate that process for them. But it's when people are messaging me going like, well, I still can't get in, and I'm like, hey, well man, maybe. You're not entitled to med school. You might just be fucking stupid or lazy. Exactly. It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
You're not entitled to this information.
You're not entitled to an Iron Man suit. It's.
I had now in the thing, like, people will message me, how'd you program it? I'm like, I didn't. I figured out. Oh wow. You seem like kind of a smart guy who might be able to.
Don't inflate my ego, Frank. Jesus Christ. Hold on, I'm just like, how the fuck did. We're recording again. So, you held up that piece of paper. What was it? Got like Sharpie on it?
Because I'm not using Arduinos in programming, that'll tell. These are the servo motors that make the helmet open and close. And so, is that not here? These are little motors that help make the helmet open and close.
Okay.
9G servos. Micro servo 9G, and they're meant to be plugged into an Arduino. They have 3 wires, signal, positive, negative, whatever. I don't use an Arduino, so there are ways that I'm going to do something. Let's see if I can get this to work. You can hotwire them. You can eliminate the need for a board.
Okay.
Altogether. So you're going to hear these spin.
Yeah.
So if you eliminate the program aspect of this, all it is it's a DC motor. And to get a DC motor to spin one way, you put positive and negative to it. To get it to spin the other way, you flip it. So that's all I had to do. I wasn't programming. I just needed to get this motor to spin one way and then the other way when I needed it to. So I was at work and it was bugging me, so I came up with this. It's a little wiring diagram.
Okay.
And it worked. I came home, I hooked up the relays to it, I hooked up the wires, tested it, and worked. Like, because this is what I'm good at. This is what I went to school for. This is what I'm comfortable with. And there's no programming, nothing. Yeah. And so you probably didn't see the video then. I wish I still had it hooked up. But the other hand, so I had the one with the gauntlet, right? And then I can make the lights turn on. The pointer finger is going to make the eyes on the mask light up. One touch will light them up, one touch will turn them off. On my left hand, what I have is mask open, mask closed.
Okay. Now, how is the other hand, when you're doing light up, turn off, is that also going to illuminate all the... Are you going to... Is that going to be, like, paired? Because that one illuminates the hand, correct? All the infinity stones.
It'll only turn them on when I'm touching my fingers together in snap.
Okay.
That's how I want it.
Well, I thought you were going to... And is it going to be different fingers for the mask? Or for the lights?
So, it's a 2-step for the lights. I unfortunately... This is what my test helmet... This is a helmet I use for all, like, the testing tech I do. I burnt the LED eyes out. I put 12 volt to them, and I shouldn't have, and it roasted the LEDs. Oops. But so I'll send you the video so you can see it. But what I have it do right now is both masks. When it closes, the eyes come on automatically.
Okay.
They close on, and there's just a little switch on the side that makes it do that. But that's cool for effect. But then if the mask is closed, it's hard to walk around and see.
Yeah, with the lights on.
But I don't want to have to walk around with the mask open all the time because I want to be able to walk around in full effect,
as Iron Man.
Mask down. I can see through those LED eyes, just not that good.
Mm-hmm.
That whatever I'm looking at needs to be brighter.
Mm-hmm.
So what I needed to find a way to have the eyes open and turn on and off when I open and close to give that cool effect of like slam on. But then by touching my finger, it'll be this finger. The aisles will come off, and that's with something called a flip-flop relay.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically it switches. If there's 2 polarities kind of sitting there. So when I pulse it, it'll complete the circuit. Pulse it again, it'll break the circuit. Pulse it again, it'll complete. So, and it remembers where it was, and that's all I'm doing. On, off, on, off. So if I touch it on, they stay on, and then the mask can open and close.
Okay.
And so there's a thought there, you know. This for the snap, all I'm doing is completing a DC circuit. That's it.
Okay.
No circuit.
Let go. Okay. All right.
That's it. Okay. It's simple.
Okay.
For the eyes, though, or for the motor, I had to be a little more creative because you need to flip the polarity on the motor, which gets a little more complicated. But I use two automotive relays. Like, once you understand how an automotive relay works, it is just like they're auto relays. I use them in cars. And this is the circuit system I wired up. It's just disassembled right now. And that's what it does. Like, I can actually kind of explain what the hell's going on here.
Please do.
So it's harder on the space-time. So you have the battery right there.
Okay.
And then there's the hand with the fingers.
Okay.
So there's a 12-volt wire going to the thumb, and that's where all the power is coming from. Okay. That's it. So when my thumb touches the pointer finger, it goes through here and it closes this relay. And what that does is that it changes one side of the motor to positive 12 volt, and then the other side of the motor, because of this relay, stays at negative. It stays at ground. So then the motor can spin. Now, if I touch the other finger, and I'm not touching the first finger, this first relay goes back to negative, and now the other one goes to positive. So it's just flipping them back and forth, whichever finger I'm touching. Because when no fingers are touching, everything's at ground. Everything's at negative. So it works. It works perfectly. And then what I also did is I added in to the fingers, to the wires coming out of the fingers, are limiter switches. Because now, with no programming, I can't tell the motor when to stop spinning.
Okay.
The only way the motor stops spinning is if I let my finger go.
Okay.
And there's going to be, there's a limitation to that, and that's my own reaction time. If I don't stop in time, I'll start to burn the motor out.
Okay.
Makes sense? Yeah, right?
Yes.
So I added two limiter switches in the top and bottom of the mask. So when the mask closes, that limiter switch cuts the circuit completely. So no matter, even if my fingers are touching, it won't work.
Burn out. Okay.
But it will only not work in the closed direction. The open direction still works. So it all came together perfectly. So the motor can only go as far until it hits this limiter switch, and then that circuit dies, and then vice versa.
Okay. Now, are you gonna put like Jarvis in there?
No.
Welcome to Comic-Con, Frank. Wonderful day, sir. Are you gonna bring around a green shake?
Oh, like from Iron Man 2?
Yeah, the toxicity.
No, I'm trying to stay actually pretty canon with this.
Okay.
If I wanted to be canon, by Endgame, the Mark 85, the suit I'm making,
he fixed that problem. Yeah,
and it wasn't Jarvis; it was Friday.
You're right.
Jarvis was a Vision.
Friday was now Vision. Well, morphed to become Vision, and
pretty much,
and then got fucked by Thanos. But are you ever gonna make Ultron or Iron Patriot or War Machine, or is that just so much work?
I've never seen anybody make an Ultron cosplay. Actually, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, I've never seen a War Machine.
I've seen there's tons of War Machines. Right. Yeah, the War Machine ones are pretty cool, especially the one from Endgame. I have the file for that, like the full suit file. I could print that. It would just take, oh my god, way longer than this ever took. Really? So printing hours, I'm about 1,100 hours into the project of printing. That's about 45 days if you want to do the math.
Yeah.
But it's fire and forget.
Yeah.
Like, get the print going, make sure it's going to survive, like keep an eye on it for a few minutes, and then you leave, you go to work. That's why I have that camera.
That's what this is like. Right before we started the podcast, when I texted you, I was like, give me a second, let me just, because I equalize all the audio so it sounds like we're in the same room, and then that takes like 2 hours, and then I just got to upload it. The uploading takes like 6 hours because it's just uploading internet is much slower than downloading. But it just I never knew this. I guess it's two completely different, I guess, pipelines, if you will. It does not affect my internet. Like Skyping, it does not affect mine at all if I'm uploading. So I was like, well, shit, it takes 6 hours to upload. So yeah, fire and forget. I was like, Frank, let me just upload this and then we can, yeah. Jesus, dude.
This is a very big helmet, but hold on. Hold that thought.
So do you ever, when no one's home, do you ever just walk around in the full Iron Man? Oh,
do
shit.
I ever what?
Was that closing? Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah. So the motors on this one are also spent because I did so much testing on it. It doesn't open properly anymore. The motors are stripped out because I didn't have that limiter switch installed. So they're not strong enough to lift the mask open now. But they'll still close it. And then the eyes used to turn on when it was closed. That's what this switch right here is for. That was telling the eyes to turn on. It closes the circuit. And then I have to add the other two switches to two other spots to tell the motor to stop working. But that's what it would just go and they'd pop right on.
Dude, you are so insanely talented. And I don't want to say talented because I feel like saying that you're talented takes away from all the hard work. My vocabulary.
I've thought of a lot of stuff.
My vocabulary is too limited. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's like when you see someone that's really good at guitar or something, and you're like, "Oh, you're so talented." It's like, no, asshole, I worked for. So I don't like to say talent because that takes away from it.
You know what's funny? I just saw a meme like that today. It was, "Oh my God, you're so gifted." You're
so gifted.
It was like, "You're so good at drawing." It's like practice. Man, this was a gift from God. No, it was practice. Oh, dude, you have this natural born. It's like,
stop taking away from all my hard work. It's like, yeah. So I don't want to use that, but because my vocabulary is too limited, because I'm not smart enough, I'm gonna say your talent is impressive. But dude, have you thought about? I was gonna ask. Actually, no, I want to keep talking about the Iron Man suit, so I'll make a note of that.
1 second.
Yeah, you're good.
Make note of time.
Yeah. Do you need me to pause it?
No. Let's see. Yeah, if you could actually pause it for
sure
5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. In 10 minutes, so Frank's in England, and I did not know that. So
I work the night shift, man. It's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm up till midnight, 2 a.m. all the time, just from work. So.
Screw that. I'm a baby, dude. 10, 11 p.m. I'm done.
Oof, I wish. That's when I start coming alive.
Really? Dude, yeah, no, you definitely got to come back on, man.
I'll have more goodies to show you. The suit's progressing. The whole chest and back plate and all that's in the garage right now. It's drying from clear coat, so I don't have that. So hopefully by then, I actually spent yesterday getting this to fit better. I had to widen the bottom out because it kept hitting my head, but now this fits how I need it to. So now I'm going to add the arms and the motors to it, and then I'll start. I need to finish that helmet. So this will be it. That'll be her.
Yeah. No, it's fucking brilliant. I was gonna say, yeah, man. Let's we definitely need to. Oops. Yeah, dude. I'm glad we did it today instead of because you were gonna be limited to an hour, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, dude. We've been going for 2 hours and 35 minutes. Yeah, it's that. What? Yeah, that's one reason I didn't want to do that. Is like we can cram an hour in, and for some people, I don't mind because sometimes it's they want to do a quick conversation, but with someone like you, where it's when I've had on authors, and it's kind of we're just going over the book, but with you, it's there wasn't any set thing we were going to talk about. It was just here's this crazy mad scientist motherfucker who created Iron Man. There's no what are you talking about? It's just hit record and let's talk. So that's why I didn't want to do that day because it's just limited to an hour. I was like, no, that was suck.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. It's been a trip.
Yeah, but yeah, dude. No, let's definitely do it again when you give me a date ahead of time. I guess with as much as a heads up as you can get. Like today, I didn't know that today was going to happen. Like it just kind of things fell into place, and I was like, oh shit.
No, it worked out.
Yeah,
I'm off work for the next couple of days, so
yeah.
I'm at home. I'm literally like I'm off for 5 days.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm just working on the suit pretty much. I'm behind schedule, so I have a lot to do.
yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, I was gonna say I didn't want to, because I have people scheduled for like the next 11 days, and I didn't want to boot anyone off and be like, hey, "Fuck you, Iron Man's coming on." Because I think I try to treat everyone like they're like the best guest ever. Like I try to treat them all like this. Hey, this is Elon Musk, or this is whatever. This is the king. Like, because I figure if I don't give everyone that like respect, the universe has a funny way of biting you in the ass or kicking you in the balls at the worst possible time.
It does.
So like if I blew off someone else because it's like, yeah, fuck you, whatever, you're not that interesting, that will, like, the universe will have a way of somehow making it so it turns out that wasn't actually that person. That's someone using an alias, and it was like, fucking Michael Jordan or something.
They were a super interesting person.
It was like Elon Musk or something. Just like, oh god damn it! And yeah, you gave them a big dick slap on the face. So I tried.
What do you mean? J.K. Rowling was a pen pal name? Damn it!
Jesus fuck yeah. So that's why yeah. So what are you gonna do over? It's 6:51 here. Well, do you want to finish at 7 p.m. on the nose?
That works. That's going to work out.
Yeah. So what do you have planned for the next 5 days working on it, or is that classified?
Highly. No, I need to. So, God, I need to go buy more clear coat because I need to clear coat the chest and the back. I need to fix some stuff on the shoulders and start buffing and polishing it. Once that's done, the arms and chest or back are all done. Then I need to finish up that whole connection system for the abs. I'm also currently working on the crotch plate because one of the problems I knew I was going to run into was, how do I go to the bathroom in the thing? So that's why the crotch and butt plate are completely separate. They go on last. They wear almost like underwear.
Yeah.
They clip on the sides. I'm not going to be able to go number 2, but I can peek.
Yeah.
I can take the front off, and if I really needed to, I could go. And it would be so funny for somebody at a convention to walk into the bathroom because all they'd see is my back, the whole
full
suit.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
You gotta put a filtration system in. You gotta.
And I do drink that water.
Yeah. How do you urinate? Like that. Yeah.
So it'd be funny if I was just standing at the urinal, they'd walk in, and I looked at them, and then the mask just closed.
You didn't see this. Yeah. You
didn't see shit.
Yeah.
So I need to just get that buckled up, and then after that, it's on to the part that I've been dreading the most, the legs. I have them made.
Why are you dreading those?
Because they're very hard to line up. Legs.
Yeah.
So they're just very big. They're very hard to line up. I have to do a lot of trimming. The suit wasn't designed, the model, it wasn't really designed for anybody with any type of muscle. And I have really big thighs. I run, jump, gymnastics, karate. I have large thighs. Whoever the suit was modeled for, it was like a 6-foot dude. Skinny legs, because my legs barely fit in these. And I'm not 6 foot. So I had to do a lot of trimming and heat adjustments. So this was the longest print. This was the 2.5 day print.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see right there, there's a line. These are 2 parts glued together.
Okay.
So I got to finish sanding that down, filling it, making it look nice, and work out good mobility so I can walk. The legs need to be comfortable. Because if I'm not moving, I don't have to move my arms. I can let my arms sit there, but I need to walk.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of they've just kind of off in the corner, just sitting there, and it's time.
Yeah. You gotta. Now, so I wrote this down earlier. So have you thought about trying to get into like the actual like, I guess, prop or special effects field of work, or do you think kind of what we were talking about earlier? Do you think that would you'd have to do shit you don't like, and then it would just turn into another job?
I think it would turn into another job.
Yeah, and then it robs the happiness from it.
But like, God, I love this shit. I think I need to get the suit done. I think it's a question for later. I think I need to get the suit done.
See what happens.
Go to some cons, enjoy it. Enjoy that before I start thinking. I don't want to worry about that because I have a day job.
Yeah.
I'm okay with my day job.
Yeah.
So I want to enjoy this first, and then I'll start reading because my life is longer than the military. Like when I get out, I need to do something.
Yeah.
So is it going to be in aviation or is it going to be in
prop design?
I don't know. I do very much enjoy this stuff. I don't know.
Now, all of those in the glass case behind you. What are they?
Those are Gundam models.
Okay.
Did you watch Gundam growing up as a kid at all?
No, but I know what it is.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Any weeb watching this will know what that is.
No, it's just they're farther away, so I wasn't sure what they were. It's just my eyes are shitty and the resolutions are so high.
When I lived in Japan for 4 years, so I got really into Gundam.
Oh shit!
And, yeah, they were. They're cheap, very cheap over there. I used to build them as a kid, but when I got into Japan, it was a much bigger craft. They're a lot cheaper. A lot more people do them. And it's the age of nerd, next to Marvel and a lot of that. You don't have to be a closet nerd anymore.
Yeah.
You can make an Iron Man suit and get kind of like...
It's badass.
You get Reddit famous for it.
Yeah, it's badass. It's you're right. It's no longer like, oh, you do that. It's like, fuck yeah, that's badass.
Going to Comic-Cons isn't like a lame thing anymore.
No.
Like, what do you mean? You went to San Diego Comic-Con? That's amazing. Like,
yeah,
it's that.
Exactly.
It's the best time to be a nerd right now.
Yeah.
So I got really into Gundam and doing custom Gundams and building them and selling them and doing them for commission work.
Oh shit!
And so those are that's just that side right there. Those two display cases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There's like 25 there, and that's probably a quarter of what I used to have.
Fuck yeah!
I used to have a lot. I've sold off some of them. I've sold off a lot of them. And those are just like my pride and joys. Slowly I'll probably start getting rid of more and more of them because I have pulled back from the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's caused one of my bigger problems with this whole issue with Reddit. I had some people tag me on Instagram and send me messages saying like, hey dude, somebody stole your video or somebody stole your shit. So some people reposted on Instagram some of my videos from Reddit, and I have a different username than I do. But I can't change it in Reddit now. But I was reluctant to change it because in the Gundam modeling community on Reddit, the subreddit there, I had a very good name for myself. I had a lot of fandom and stuff. Yeah. So it was like,
don't change
I don't
it.
want it.
Yeah.
Like shit. But then I finally... So then there started to be this people like, hey, you should change. I finally tried to change it, and I found out you can't.
Yeah, you can't change Reddit names. Yeah, man. No, just don't change it. Just find those people that did it, and just honestly, dude, with people like that steal shit, it's very easy to steal, but I find it's just as easy to prevent them from stealing because all you got to do is make them look like a dickhead once, and they'll stop. Yeah, and you don't got to be aggressive, but you just got to be like, hey, fucker, credit me. Post it, and if they block that comment, you go back with 10 other accounts and just be like, credit the artist, fucker.
I've also started, because if somebody did actually straight up take my stuff, I've started adding watermarks to my videos, and I got to go back and adjust some things so that doesn't happen. This one video, it was the mask opening and closing with my fingers, and somebody took that and then ended up getting 50,000 hits on their page before I caught them, and I'm like, just delete it, dude, because now if you tag me, the algorithms ran.
It doesn't. I made a meme like that. The rap battle meme. Not the I'm gonna end this whole man's career, but the one where the guy's screaming.
Yeah.
I did that, but I made it look like that painting, The Scream. And it's just that guy. And I made that on Reddit a year ago, and it was pretty well received. And then I saw it 6 months later, literally at number, it was pinned at the top of dank memes, And I was like, I literally got on there like 4 counts, and I was like, just belligerent. I was like, you motherfucker! Like, and it's, yeah, it's whatever, man.
Sometimes you just gotta box people, man.
Yeah.
You just gotta hit them.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. And then eventually they're like, oh yeah, credit to the thing. You're like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Go drink bleach. Fuck you. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man. Well, shit. Wait, literally just clicked 7.
All right, man.
Dude, thank you so much for doing it. Thank you for giving me your evening.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, fuck that, man. It was a fucking pleasure talking to you. It's, like I said, it's difficult to talk to some people. It was I could keep going for 10 hours, dude.
Me too.
Dude, please come back on.
I will.
Obviously, you have my number. Let's figure it out. Just play it by ear. It's no rush. But dude, please, this is your podcast. Walk on whenever you want, man. You're fucking Iron Man. You're enjoyable to talk to. You're intelligent. You're funny. You're a fucking good guest. You're not. I've had some guests that will not be coming back, but no, dude, you're more than welcome to come back anytime you want. You're goddamn Iron Man. It's fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. No copyright intended. Marvel, hire Frank. Frog Tape, sponsor Frank.
Yeah, right.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be in touch, dude. Definitely let me know when the video's up. And
yeah, it'll take like 2 hours to get all the audio correct. And this was a long podcast, relatively. 2 hours, 50 minutes. It'll probably take most of the night to upload, so I'm not even going to stay up for it. I'm just going to hit upload. It'll be up tomorrow morning, like by the time I'm up tomorrow. So I'll send the link to you as soon as I get it. And if you want, on Reddit or text me links to like your Instagram or whatever, AMA, whatever, just a couple primary links, and I'll put that in the description, and I'll pin that as the top comment.
Okay. Cool.
Fuck yeah, man. Thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you for having me, dude. You have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. You too, buddy. Peace.